good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome. Whichever part of the world and whatever time zone you are in, thank you for joining us for the 2021 edition of the Black Consciousness Festival. This year, we are inviting you to shift. Join with amazing people across the world as we explore the many ways we, as people of African descent, grow, cultivate, produce, share, and rebirth ourselves. Through our ancestral knowledge, historical legacy, pride, power, and practice, let's celebrate the individual and collective ways we navigate through life. Together, we continue to walk in pride, power, and practice. Enjoy the session.
Hi, good evening, good night, good morning, depending on where you are in the world. It is my pleasure. My name is Sean Samad, Content and Communications Director of the festival, and it is my pleasure this evening to welcome two fantastic guests who will be talking about amazing subjects. I want to introduce Shauna McCullough, who's a herbalist, founder of Akuma Sol, wellness advocate, and doer of many things, and Alyssa Villela, who's a community health herbalist, gardener, and assistant teacher of Indigi Golden Herb Academy, an online herbalism apprenticeship program, and platform for Black, Brown, and Indigenous people of color. Welcome, ladies, and enjoy your conversation.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sean.
Wow. Hi, Shauna. Nice to
Hi,
meet you.
Alyssa. Nice to meet you. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. I've had a very busy day, but productive in all the good ways, mostly around herbalism.
Nice. I
Yeah.
also had, well, today's Sunday, so I usually reserve this day for resting. So I didn't
Mm,
really do much today. Just grounded myself. Took some
yeah.
herbs as usual.
I mean, the daily routine.
Yes.
So do you have certain days that you work? Like, how do you organize your week? I'm curious.
Okay, so I have a very busy schedule because apart from herbalism, I'm also a case manager.
Wow.
So that's what I do for my main income, and then I do my business, Akoma Soul, part time, and I'm also studying under my mentor, Karen Rose.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also takes up a lot of my time as well. So my days kind of just like work, and then after work, usually I do some stuff for like my business or I'm studying.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I'm like level 3. I'm in my last I'm almost done with my program with her. So
Wow. Good
yes,
job. It's a
yes,
three. It's 3 years, right?
yes, such a beautiful experience. Oh my gosh, like studying under Karen Rose is amazing. Like
Oh,
I've literally learned so much, and I
oh,
feel like I've grown like as an herbalist from learning from her. So, and also
mm,
like the community is really, it's a large community that we have, but I'm in community with 12 other herbalists that are
mhm.
also studying under her. So it's
In your
been,
cohort?
yes,
Cool.
been an amazing experience so far.
That's beautiful. I'm so happy. Once I found out that you were studying under Karen Rose, I'm like, that's incredible. Because when I graduated college, I was trying to find Black herbalists in New York, and
Mhm.
Karen Rose was one of the first people that I found.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think there's another woman who has an herbalism apprenticeship program. I can't remember her name. I think it's Amanda, but I think
Yes,
she, yes.
I'm in one of those programs.
Oh, you
Yeah,
are.
it's called People's Medicine School. It's led by Amanda David. She's super,
Yes.
like, honestly awesome. I got a scholarship for the the BIPOC
Okay.
schooling. And anyway, yeah. So I'm a student under her educational apprenticeship, and also another one that's solely online that's called Indigi Golden Herbal Academy.
Oh, wow. That is so beautiful. Do you also reside in New York?
Yes. Yeah, I'm in
Oh,
Astoria right now. I didn't know that you were also from New York, but I'm like,
yes.
of course.
I'm in Long Island,
Okay,
but
cool.
I travel back and forth to Brooklyn quite often, so I hang out in the city a lot. So
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, I'm curious. How did how did you get on this path? What guided you to herbalism?
Okay, so I think that's a good starting point
Yeah.
to lead into our discussion for today. Um, Definitely for me, it was a mixture of things. So a couple of years ago, I was diagnosed with PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. And for those, if you guys don't know what that is, it's kind of um, a hormonal disorder that can affect your hormones and your infertility for people who identify as women. So with that, I was also just in general just not really well. Like I wasn't really the healthiest person. I was always very tired, depressed, a lot of acne. And from that point, I just really wanted to understand why. And I was really young. I was about maybe like 15 years old. And I just couldn't understand why, like, I was just feeling so unwell and unhealthy. Um, and that's honestly what started my journey in herbalism because I started studying holistic health, holistic wellness, dieting, and then along with that came herbs. So that's why I really got into herbs. And when I started working with plant medicine, I was able to regulate my menstrual cycle. I felt a lot healthier. And along with that, like I said, like dieting and like eating, healthier helped out a lot too. But that's really what started my journey to herbalism because I just wanted to feel better, and I didn't want to be on medication. Like my doctor, my OBGYN would prescribe me birth control. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
And then I was off that. So then I had to take progesterone pills. Anytime I would miss my menses, I had to take progesterone, and I just, you know, wasn't a fan of that. So I started working with Vitex, and I'm not on that right now, but to regulate my cycle, I work a lot with Shatavari, red raspberry, and I've been straight ever since.
That's beautiful. I haven't worked with Shatavari, but red raspberry and Vitex, staples.
Yes,
Definitely.
definitely.
So
What?
similarly, so endometriosis runs in my family. It's like another situation where there's an imbalance in hormones that creates like disease in the womb space. And that manifested, especially for my mother, but like also for me, painful menses, like could not move. I would be in so much pain that I would throw up, which became really difficult because like I would eat certain things and that would either irritate it, or I would eat something healthy and I would still throw up from the pain. So I would see my mother, and she like has lived with painful menses and endometriosis for so much of her life. So I could see how it kind of hardened her in a way that she was able to cope with it, but she still wasn't thriving, and she still wasn't like truly, she couldn't tap into the power of her womb space. And I feel like that's one of the main reasons why I've been so interested in healing, because I know that it's like it's hereditary. There's lots of, and especially with endometriosis and fibroids, my grandma had fibroids, my mom has fibroids. Like the risks are there, especially as Black women in a modern society. Like we're constantly inundated with stresses, whether they're environmental, chemical, emotional, societal. There's really no way to escape it, and that's part of why I've become so fascinated about how Black women have been able to heal themselves, because despite everything that they've been through, they've been the pillars of their communities, of their families, and have been able to show up for others in a way that means that they have been able to show up for themselves. But even if they haven't showed up for themselves, like what are ways that we can so that our lives can be continued and that we can continue the important work that we do. So yeah, the womb space led me to herbalism. Like it has such a powerful pull. I feel like me being interested in the womb space, I was interested in medicine. So I was going to go the whole pre-med route. And
Oh,
then I
wow.
was in school and I was like, why is this so competitive? Why is this so cutthroat? Like, I am doing this because I love the human body, not because I want to beat the other person and see who gets higher grades. So I wasn't really vibing with that energy. So I started digging deeper. I was learning, I took a midwifery class in college, like the history of midwifery, and I started learning about like enslaved midwives and herbalists, and it just led me down a beautiful, beautiful rabbit hole where I learned about how Black women have been healing themselves. And it really motivated me because the only thing that they needed was to connect to the land, to their earth, to their herbs. Like, it was really so simple, and it gave them so much hope. And I thought that was so poetic and beautiful. I couldn't,
Yes.
after I learned that, I was like, oh, they were onto something. I gotta get my feet on the earth. That's beautiful.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I definitely resonate with that. It's definitely, the knowledge of herbalism is definitely, I feel like it's rooted like in our DNA. And I feel like, I didn't grow up as an herbalist. Like, my family's not into herbs or any of that. Like, I'm kind of like the only person that just woke up one day and somehow was led to this path. And I really do think that my ancestors, they brought me here. And, it's really about reactivating, like, the DNA. And I think that's why so many younger people are returning to herbs. And definitely, like, in this pandemic, I think that showed, that really opened a lot of people's eyes. I feel like more now than ever, I think more people are, more curious about, natural healing and herbs and like wellness. And like, it's good that people are, realizing this, because this is what our ancestors worked with. This is what, brought us healing, brought us unity, community, and, all the good stuff.
Yeah. I was gonna ask if there were any healers in your family, like if you came from a lineage of people that maybe work with the land or anything.
No, no. And it's so interesting because, like, my mom, she passed away when I was 7 years old. And that's also like another reason why I got into herbalism, because she passed away from breast cancer.
Wow.
And breast cancer doesn't run in my family, so it was literally just her. And like, I was tested to see if I carry the BRCA gene, and I don't. But that's something that, like, that just kind of like really just like woke me up, because I'm just like, why was she the one like diagnosed with that breast cancer? But when I think about like my mom and like my mom's side of the family, I don't really have like the connection that I have with that side. Like, and when I think about me and PCOS, I kind of think about like how you mentioned before with the womb space. I feel like there's been like a disconnect with like my maternal lineage, and that sort of manifested like my PCOS. So right now I'm in the journey of this like really healing my maternal side, because I feel like there's something there that I need to connect with and something that I need to heal, like ancestral, like in my DNA on that side. That's just something that like I've just thought about like maybe like 3 years ago. And it's just like there's something there like I have to be working through, like past many years down. Like, I gotta work through that.
Yeah.
What
It's
a
such sorry. Yeah, that's so powerful. I feel that's that same way about the womb space with my mother's lineage, because like endometriosis, fibroids, like painful menses, it all seems to continue to manifest. And I don't know, it's just like, so let me continue to the question, because I asked you if you had any healers in your family. And when I was starting on my journey, I didn't think I did. I thought that I I thought I was the only one, because I started by working on a farm, and I like got more into farming and growing my own food. And and I learned how to connect with herbs that way. That was like my first introduction.
Mm-hmm.
And when I started to invite my family over and see how they felt, my mom would be like, "Oh, my grandma used or my nana used to use this," and like I would visit my nana, and then I feel like I just like flipped a switch, and like as soon as I was interested, I saw it all around me. Like I go over to my grandma's house, and she has like these tonics, which are like basically her own herbal formulas that she's been using for years and years and years, and it was just beautiful to like to open my eyes to what she learned. So she would have like morning tonics and like afternoon tonics, and she would drink herbal teas and take all of her vitamins and herbal supplements. So now that my eyes have been open, I see it everywhere. Like every time I visit my mom, she's talking about how she misses having her garden space and how she felt so connected to the land when she was growing her own food, and just like learned the abundance that earth can give. And yeah, it's beautiful because like if I didn't find herbalism, I don't know if I would have deepened these connections with my family as much as I have. But I'm so grateful. I'm literally so grateful.
Yeah, I definitely that's beautiful. Like I said, I feel like so many people like we're waking up to like this knowledge, especially like throughout this pandemic. Oh, I was just reading the comments.
Yeah, me too.
Erica said, connection to ancestral knowledge, the importance of the womb space,
Mm,
the importance for the land of the people of
yes.
African descent. Yeah, it's so important to connect to back to the land. Like
Yeah.
even like for me, I'm trying to get more into like the roots because like
Mhm.
I've been doing a lot of when I first started learning about herbs, like it was just more like me reading books and knowledge. I would say it wasn't until recently where I actually started like going outside and like getting my hands like in the dirt, actually seeing like the plants grow, like how the
Mhm.
food grows. Like I'm new when it comes to that. So maybe I can learn more from you.
Yeah, I feel like I had the opposite. Like I started by like connecting my feet to the
Ah,
earth. I was an
okay.
education intern at a farm. So we
Mhm.
would like invite kids, adults, like people of all ages to the farm, and we'd plant seeds with them. And that was like the first time I experienced community healing. That oh, it
In,
blew my
in
mind.
in the land, right? Like
Yes, it blew
yes.
my mind, and I would have dreams about like people like joining together in circles, sharing over herbs and foods, and like it just felt so nurturing to my heart. And I got to see it with my eyes that like people that came to the farm like a little hardened, like they thought that like, oh, this is I'm not interested, like this is not my vibe. But then like you see them like pick a strawberry from the plant for the first time, or like a raspberry, or like taste um, some sorrel, which is like a plant that has like a very lemony kind of sour taste. It was just so beautiful to see, and like that led me to more community healing,
Mhm.
because there's herbalism practices that might be like more private, more clinical,
Mhm.
but I think the community aspect makes makes it so much more powerful, because not only are you healing yourself, but like you're healing that other person, and like it just
Mhm.
like echoes out, and ricochets into like a beautiful cascade.
Yes, because we're healing together in community.
Yeah.
There's a book, I don't know if you've read it, but it's The Healing Wisdom of Africa by Malidoma Somé. I don't know if you've read
I
that
don't
book.
think I have.
But he talks a lot about like community and like
Mm,
healing community and like how, in like the Western world, there's no focus on like unity and community. It's very individualized. Let's do everything
mm-hmm.
by ourselves. Like, you know, our ancestors were very community based. Like we were healing together in communities. There is no like I need to do everything for, me. And I
Yeah.
think that's where their disconnect is because a lot of these illnesses are stemming from that. Like, capitalism, thinking that you need to do everything yourself,
Yeah.
and it's very it's and I've been on that I've been there. Like, and it just literally led to like burnout. And like I noticed when I'm trying to do everything by myself and like I'm just in this individualistic mindset, like that's when like illnesses come and stress and anxiety and all that. So
Yes,
yeah.
definitely. I agree with the individualized perspective of this capitalistic world. It really like robs us of connection,
Hmm.
and in a way that like we forget that we literally need connection to
Yeah.
survive. Like it's not a non-negotiable. Like it's absolutely essential. Um, yeah, I totally agree with that. I love that herbalism is bringing us closer to what our ancestors were doing, what they have
Hmm.
practiced, and what feels so good, for us as well.
Yeah.
Um, I have this is going on with ancestors and community medicine. I was wondering if you have any favorite ancestral medicines, maybe not from your family line, but like maybe a cultural medicine that you've leaned on a
Hmm.
lot.
That is something that I'm still exploring because
Mm.
I'm still exploring my roots. I'm Black American, but I wanted to do more deeper research to see what countries in Africa I'm from. I did a DNA test a while back ago, and it said I was mainly from Nigeria, Ghana, Togo.
Oh my god, me too.
Yes, but like I'm still like learning like what that is. So
Yeah.
I can tell you what my favorite herbs are if that maybe
Yeah.
because I don't want to get into like the whole DNA thing because that's gonna take
No
a long
worries. No
time.
worries. I also don't know most of my ancestors because my mom did an ancestry test. She got the same results, like Benin, Togo, Ghana, that
Hmm.
area. But that also is an area that was like super, like where people were where captured Africans were enslaved and brought into the slave trade. So I know that there's long history there. Completely understand. I'm
Yeah.
also trying to dive deeper, but it's a lifelong journey, and like sometimes the
Mhm.
hints will come in our dreams. They'll come like
Yeah.
by like a little moment that piques our interest and whatnot. Um, but yeah,
Of
thank you for sharing.
course.
Let's see. So I'm curious about your herbalism apprenticeship. Could you
Okay.
share a little about your journey?
So yeah, so I started apprenticing with Karen Rose in 2018. So where can I start with this apprenticeship program? There was just so much that happened. Um, well, originally it started in 2018. We had class once a week and it was in person.
Mhm.
But then the pandemic hit, and so she shifted the program to online. So right now we're doing um, class online, but level one and level two is a little bit different from level three. So basically, in level one and level two, you're learning the herbs. You're learning the herbs. You're learning how to do formulary. You are learning my brain. You're learning the actions of the herbs, like you're learning that type of stuff. That's basically what level one and level two is. So it's a lot of like studying, knowing what the herbs do, how to work with them, learning the spiritual aspects of the herbs. Because Karen's very focused on learning. She incorporates spirit a lot. That's why it's a spiritual herbalism apprenticeship program. That's why I really wanted to work and study under her because she incorporates spirit, and I know not every herbalism program does that.
Yeah.
Um, so that was pretty much level one and level two, but level three is more so. I like level three a lot, which is level I'm in right now, is because it was more community based. Like with level three, we had to do a lot of garden work. So we volunteered our time every, what was it? Every 2 Saturdays a month at Kelly Street Garden in the Bronx. And I definitely recommend that you go to Kelly Street because it's a beautiful, beautiful garden and you
I've
would love
been
it.
once.
You went?
I went once and I was like blown away because I couldn't see it from the outside. It looks like just a regular block, and then you
Yes.
go down the stairs and then it's like,
Yes.
whoa.
Yes, it's such a magical place. I
Yes.
love Kelly Street Garden. Oh my gosh. Like it's amazing. And everything that they do there is really community based to give a lot back to the community. That part of the program is done, but honestly, I want to keep volunteering my hours there just because I love them and I love Kelly Street.
Yeah.
But in terms of, I don't want to take up so much time. I don't know
Mm.
how much time we have left. But level 3 is also about. We spent a lot of time planning the Herbalism conference. I don't know. Did you? I don't know if you were. Did you attend Karen Rose's conference that we just had?
This year?
Yes.
No, I joined the last 2 years or 1 year.
Yes.
2 years.
So I'm having a brain freeze. Nourishing your creative fire. Yes,
Yes.
that was the theme this year. So we had to plan and put together a conference, and that was our theme. And then we had 2 guest speakers. We had Tatiana Taro and we had Miriam Hasna as our special guest. So that planning the conference was a big chunk of like level 3. And just really engaging with community and planning that. And right now we're doing client work. So we're learning more about how to work with clients, and how to build an intake form. So that's been level 3 so far. A lot of planning, a lot of community, a lot of group work. But yeah, it's been a journey. Still in this journey, still learning.
It's never ending.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I think Erica had asked us, do you have favorite herbs or any herbs that you feel deeply? I'm going to let you answer that first.
Okay, so my favorite, I think I have 2 for right now, but my favorite herb that I've used since I learned about herbalism, since I learned about how to work with plants, is Tulsi or holy basil. I really like it because it's in the class of herbs called adaptogens. And adaptogens, they're like a newer class. They're not a traditional term, but they just mean that they help our bodies adapt to stress, whether it's physical, environmental, emotional. So if our stress response is like this at a stressful event, like an adaptogen will kind of level that out and make it a little more easy to adapt to those situations. And I feel like as a Black woman in this society, the most help that we need is with reacting to stressors that try to take away our peace. So I lean on Tulsi all the time because it's aromatic, meaning that it's like it has a very beautiful smell, volatile oils. It'll disperse any stagnant energy. I like that it's it grows in New York. So like I have a Tulsi plant in my apartment that's growing right now that I actually transplanted from a community garden. So like, I just love how the cycle keeps giving. And I like Tulsi because I can add it to anything. Like I add it to my teas. I have like tinctures, I have oxymels. So I can incorporate Tulsi in any way that I need on a daily basis because Erica's like, yeah, Tulsi, because Tulsi it's super gentle. So it's more effective if you use it for prolonged periods and consistently. My other favorite herb is rosemary. I really like rosemary because she's spicy, she's aromatic, she's warming, she's stimulating. She just invigorates me and brings me energy and focus when I need it the most. And I always lean on her when I'm not feeling well because rosemary in some soup, rosemary like in any form is just super nourishing. And I think it's also because like energetically I'm a little cold. Like I run cold, my energetics are cold. So I like herbs that are warming, that will bring more blood flow to my extremities, whether it's my fingers, my toes, to my scalp. I use it as a hair oil. I use it literally in so many forms. But yeah, Tulsi and rosemary, they're my all-time faves.
Did you also say do you grow rosemary as well, or do you
Yeah.
just?
You know
Oh,
what? I'm going to show you my plants because I'm a proud mama.
yes, please. I guess now. Oh, that was quick.
So right here is my rosemary. Ain't she cute?
She
And
is.
rosemary doesn't grow in New York. It's usually a Mediterranean plant. But if you stimulate the environment of the Mediterranean by like spritzing her like she's on the ocean or whatnot, and not watering her too much, then she'll be okay.
Okay.
And this is my Tulsi. Like I said, I transplanted it from a garden, so it
Mhm.
was flowering and it has some like little flower buds. But since I don't want it to flower right now, I'll just like harvest the little flower buds so that it'll continue to grow in like a vegetated state.
Wow, so
Yeah.
pretty.
My babies.
Aw. I definitely have to get more into growing herbs. Like that is like my main goal for 2022. I
Mm,
definitely like want to get more into like the garden, more garden work. Because like I said, like I know it on paper, but when it comes to like gardening and having like a green thumb, that's something that like I gotta reconnect with.
yeah. My favorite, I started actually during the pandemic. So I
Oh
previously
wow.
didn't have any plants in my apartment because I had moved from like a family's house. So I
Mhm.
moved into a new space and I was like, the pandemic was going on. I didn't want to go outside to buy new plants. So I started with
Mhm.
my kitchen scraps. So like if I had celery stalk, I would take the end of the celery where the roots are and I would put that in water. I'd let that grow in. I used carrot tops. So the top of the carrot will grow like some leaves. It won't grow a whole carrot, but like you'll still have some
Okay.
carrot greens. And you can save any seeds that you get from the grocery
Mhm.
store of any like peppers, um,
Mhm.
what else? Honestly, anything that has seeds, you could save the seeds and plant the seeds. And that's a great way to start where there's like no expectation, like you're just experimenting. You don't have to worry about like spending a lot of money up front to start.
You
Yeah.
know, in level three, I'm not level three, I'm sorry. In level one in Karen's program, she does a plant walk. Well, we all
Mm.
do like a plant walk. So my plant was ginger.
Ooh.
So I actually grew ginger like that. And I was really, yeah, like
How?
I, I literally took an old ginger root and just kind of replanted it, and it actually grew. But I messed up because I dug it out to. I messed it up because like I dug it out, and I was like, I should have just left this. But then I cooked with it though. Like
Ooh.
it was really cool because like I regrew the root and it actually grew bigger and like it had like
What? Like a
a
green stalk?
yeah, yeah. So I'm just
Wow.
like, oh, I grew something.
See, you already have a green thumb. I didn't even know you could grow ginger like that.
You can. You're supposed to do it like early spring if you're gonna do it. Early spring. But like I said, like I harvested it too quick. Like I feel like
Mhm.
if I would have left it a little bit longer, it would have been bigger.
Yeah.
Like I said, like I'm still learning, still experimenting.
Yeah, that's a great place to start though. Like ginger, seeds that you get from the grocery
Mhm.
store. What else? Oh, I had some potatoes that started to get the little, what are they called?
Sprouts.
Yeah, sprouts. They look like sprouts. Anyway, they started to sprout. I was like, all right, I'll stick them in some dirt, and they got so tall. Like I was on.
Oh
They didn't turn into new potatoes. They were just like green leafy plants.
wow.
But those were my house plants. That's how I started with my house plant collection.
That's
Um,
so cool.
yeah. Oh, I love that. And I
Yeah.
love the idea of growing indoors. Like if you, I mean, I don't know if you have access to a physical outdoor space, but I haven't. So growing indoors has always been a big mission of mine. I'm even
Mhm.
composting indoors, which is like, it's not for everybody. So it's not for the lighthearted, but it is possible. It's a method where you don't have to till it or like introduce any more air. So it's completely enclosed. I don't smell anything. The only time I smell something is if I'm like taking out my fermented compost.
Composting indoors. I've never heard of that. I'm going to research that.
Yes, look up Bokashi compost. Bokashi compost.
S-H-I. Thank you.
Yeah, of course, because it's like it's really cool. You just use. I have a bucket and it has like a little spout. You don't introduce any air, as little air as possible. You put your food scraps in, and then you sprinkle this like inoculated bran that has a bacteria in it, and then you close it. And then the bacteria from the bran will break down the food scraps, and it'll turn into like this white mold situation. And then from that, you put it in soil, and it'll just break it down into soil. It's like absolutely incredible.
Oh
and
my gosh.
I use those for my plants indoors too. So it's like I've done the full cycle.
We gotta talk.
Yeah, Shauna, I will happily. We could do like a skill share.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that is so cool.
Yeah,
I did not know that. Like I love and admire that you're so like in the garden. Like that's what I aspire to be. Like working at Kelly Street, and also like I was recently in Ghana back in September and in October, and like I had met new friends, and like they literally have like a whole garden. They live in a mountain. They have like this whole garden like in their backyard, like, and they just grow herbs and foods, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is my dream.
Yes, literally my dream.
Yes, so that's really it had really inspired me to really get back to that, because
despite wherever we live, like we gotta make it a priority, because people have had plants in their houses for years, and I feel like they should include more medicinal and edible plants. Honestly, like people have plenty of house plants, but like got a little rosemary, a little thyme. Like,
yes, heal us.
Yeah, exactly.
We got 2 minutes.
Okay. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So let's see.
Like,
where should any questions? Like,
I think we do. Sean asked us, have you had many men interested in herbalism and many male practitioners?
In my experience, I haven't seen a lot, but they are there, and they like, if they're around other women that are herbalists, they are listening. Like they are picking up on it. I know my partner, he's like, oh yeah, that's rosemary, that's good for, and I'm like, oh, okay. Like you're definitely listening.
Yes. Same with my partner. Like I think they're interested, but it's just like they're learning through us. So it's kind of like, I feel like as a woman, we're kind of like guiding them and like, you know, just like reintroducing this to them. Cause like, I don't know any male herbalists and practitioners, but they are out there.
Yeah. And traditionally, like a lot of shamans and medicine people like were men. So
that is true. That is true. That is so true.
Maybe they also have to reclaim it and get back to their roots.
I think so too. Like I know there's I don't know too much about like that aspect, but that's something that I think, you know, is a thing too.
Yeah, definitely. All right.
I don't know. Are we still? How many more minutes do we have left?
I don't wanna go on a tangent, but
yeah,
it's been a pleasure talking with you, Shauna.
It's been a pleasure too. We definitely you did follow me. Start wrapping up. Okay. Yes. It was a pleasure speaking with you, Alyssa. We definitely can communicate and talk.
Yes. And you have a page. What's your page called again?
A Coma Soul.
Coma Soul, cool. Yes. And my page is Alchemist Vision. Alchemist Vision, yeah.
Yes.
And that's where I'm growing, I'm learning, you know, evolving, doing all the things, trying to stay present along the journey and all.
Could you say it slower? Oh, so My page is Akomasol, Akomasol.
And my page is Alchemist, ALCHEMISTS Vision, VISION. And yeah, you can find me on Instagram. I have an Etsy. Soon we'll have a website. All of that.
Yes, and I have a website, and you can find me on Instagram.
Thank you so much, everybody in the comments that was present with us. It's been a pleasure.
Bye, everyone. Bye,
Yeah.
Melissa.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us for this conversation at the Black Consciousness Festival. All of our sessions are available on our website, theblackconsciousnessfestival.com, and on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. All of our conversations are intense, fun, enriching, and may also be challenging as we explore different facets of our history as people of African descent. Remember, you can find more on the festival on our website, theblackconsciousnessfestival.com. Have a good night, good evening, good afternoon, and a good morning, wherever you are joining us from. And remember to walk in pride, power, and practice.